Hi yogis, I'm Julie Stanford, and today we're going to be getting into crow pose, Bakasana. Before we begin, I recommend that you spend a few minutes warming up with some sun salutations, or if you're looking for some inspiration, you can check out my video Yoga Flow Prep for arm balance and inversions. And then once you're warmed up, make sure that you have a yoga block, or you can use some really thick books as well. I'm going to use 2 yoga blocks for what we're doing today. So having those aside, we'll be using them in just a moment. Come onto your hands and knees, into table position first. We're going to spend a few minutes here just getting the feel of exactly what's going on in our arm balance so that we know what muscles need to be engaged. So when you start from your tabletop position, we have our flow here. Normally we come into our cow, and that will be the retracting of the shoulder blades. So just notice as you draw the shoulder blades together here, coming into your cow. Exhale, we start to come into our cat. You're going to feel the protraction of the shoulder blades. So now don't go all the way in. Keep your gaze right in between your thumbs. Feeling the shoulders spread apart and firm. And now spin your elbows, draw them in towards one another, and firm your forearms in towards one another, your biceps in, pressing into your index finger. So that will help take some of the weight off of your wrist. Just holding that and breathe, navel towards your spine. Go ahead and release. So that's what we're going to be feeling in our shoulder girdle to build the proper shoulder strength. Grab one of your blocks. You can use a book here as well, or just imagining that you have a block and you want to bring your block right in between your thighs. Come back into your table position. So just noticing the block here. Don't move your legs at all. You want to keep your legs completely still. So that means no squeezing in. Don't actually move your legs in to squeeze the block. Just become aware of your inner thighs. And draw your inner thighs towards the block without moving your legs. Engaging inner thighs in to hug onto the block. And that will activate your pelvic floor. So you're feeling those muscles now squeezing nice and tight. Those muscles deep in the low belly. We want to get them activated. And now tuck your toes under. Continuing to feel that sensation here as you gently draw your thighs into the block. Inhale, breathing, and start to gaze up. So we feel that retraction here in the shoulders. And now as you exhale, we want to round the shoulders again. Gaze right in between your thumbs. We're not going all the way into our cat pose. Elbows hug in. Forearms hug in towards one another. Press into your index finger. And now stay here and inhale. Exhale as you press into your toes. Lift your knees. Keep drawing your thighs into the block and take your gaze to your navel. Holding here if you can for a few breaths. Remember to continue to hug your elbows in, forearms together, breathe, and then lowering your knees down. Take a rest here. Gentle arch in the back, untuck your toes. Maybe even taking some circles with your neck, moving your head back and forth, side to side. Right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder. And we want to do that one more time. So starting with a neutral spine. We're going to move right into our partial. It's a halfway cat. So firming here through the shoulders, spreading the shoulders apart, spreading your upper back open. Hug the elbows in. Get the arms firm, biceps firm. And now tucking your toes under. Stay here. Nice big inhale. Exhale, pressing into your toes. Squeeze the block. Lift the knees. Gaze to your navel. And lower your knees back down onto the floor. Release your block to the other side. And let's come into child's pose. Forehead comes down to the floor. Put your arms behind you. Just relaxing through your shoulders. A few breaths. Just to cleanse, let go of any stuck energy. Okay, so feeling the fire now in the shoulder girdle, in your pelvic floor, and we're ready with those muscles activated to come into our crow pose. So blocks come right towards the center of the mat. I'm going to use two. These are a little bit more thin, so I want to use two blocks here to stack them up. The higher the height of your lift, the easier it's going to actually be to come into your crow. So squatting down on top of the block, bring the balls of your feet here on top of the block and open your knees nice and wide. Let your hips start to drop down. We're sinking heavy. And walk your fingertips forward. Use your arms here to balance you as the hips sink back. We want to get the lower back nice and open. And then drop your chin down towards your chest. Walk your hands back a little bit. And hang out here. Just relax, deep breaths. So that you can find this state of peace, equanimity before you start to work into the pose. Just letting go of any doubts. This is not about how you perform in this pose. It's about the quality of the inner effort that you put in. It's about what's on the inside going on as you do the work. So just let yourself remember that here. Relax a little bit. And now we're ready to go. So let's bring our wrists right underneath our shoulders. Spread your fingers. Okay, not super wide, but you want to have space in between each finger. Pressing into index finger and thumb. And feel the floor underneath you, because in crow pose, our hands are becoming our feet. So you really want to gather in energy, strength from the floor, hugging your elbows in. And now we're going to start to get that sensation here again, protraction in the shoulders, firm, navel towards your spine as you lift your knees up high. And now with the blocks, this can be challenging work right here as we come into the pose. You're going to feel your hip flexors fire up. You're going to feel your shoulders fire up, your core, your navel, and towards your spine. So just see if you can hold here for a breath or two. And now bring your knees down on the backs of your arms. The higher up you get to your armpits, the more likely you're going to fly in the pose. So nice and high, and then hug them in towards your arms. Hugging into the upper arms, gaze comes right in between your thumbs to start, and then slightly forward, because we're moving forward, so where we want our body to go, we take our gaze. Coming forward, move. Keep moving forward until you feel yourself come up onto your tiptoes or the balls of your feet. Scan where your weight is in your hands. Make sure it's not too heavy in the back of the palm. We want to bring it all the way forward, tipping into the fingertips as we come forward on the toe tips. Gazing with intention, but softness in the eyes, and lifting one toe up off the block. Keep breathing, and now switching, lifting the other toe. Your feet together, come back down. Take a breath, take a little bit of a breather here. That's hard work. Just keeping one foot down on the floor. So maybe even if one foot isn't happening, just stay in either your step one or stay with both feet on the floor. Keep working on that and you will build up the strength needed in time. Let's see if we can get both feet now to lift up, to fly into our crow. So same thing, lifting high, rounding here through your back, shoulders firm, gazing slightly forward, not up, but slightly forward, because we're moving forward now. Glide. It's a glide. Feel the weight spilling into your fingertips. Not too heavy forward, but enough so that your weight is even on both palms. And now pull the toes together as if you're squeezing a pebble in between your big toes, and now heels up towards your butt. Good, navel towards your spine. Keep breathing. And then lowering back down onto your blocks. Come down and take a rest. Let's do child's pose. Arms forward, you can come behind you. And breathe. So after working on an intense arm balance, just make sure that you massage your wrists a little bit. So from here, make a fist with your opposite hand, grabbing on and pull the skin down, and then bend. Keeping that fist. And switch to the other side. Fist pulling the skin and bend. And rolling your wrists out a little bit. And then after intense arm balance work, it's also really important to open and relax, stretch your shoulders out a little bit. So reach your right arm up, bending your elbow, press your left palm right here on the top, and just gently stretch your palm down, right in between your shoulder blades, moving your elbow more towards center. So as we build strength in our muscles, they tend to get tighter. So it's really important to always use your counter poses to keep the flexibility. And switching onto the other side, bending your left elbow, and gently press, work the palm down in between your shoulder blades, and breathe. Fluid, smooth breath. And then release and shake it out. Just coming here into easy pose, close your eyes. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Sometimes I like to do a few exhales out the mouth just to cleanse and release any stuck energy, stuck emotion. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. And remember, if you didn't get the pose today, keep practicing, keep doing your work, and it will come. And what's most important is what's going on inside of you, in your heart, with your thoughts while you're doing the pose. That's the important part. That's the purifying process of the yoga journey. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or any suggestions for future video topics. Please like and subscribe to stay tuned for more yoga tips and flows. Namaste.